So last month I sent out an email campaign that got 2.3% conversion rate. Pretty average, right? Then I sent the exact same offer to a similar audience and got 23%, 7%. That's not a typo. Same product, same price point. That only difference. 7 changes I made to how I structured that email. And here's the crazy part. Most of those hacks go completely against what the email marketing gurus tell you to do. I ambitious it, and over the past year, I have tested more than 50 different email series across all my campaigns and my client work at Max Marketing. And today I am breaking down the only 7 that constantly multiplied conversion, not just open rate, actual conversion by 10x or more. Stick around because hack number 5 is probably the opposite of what you have been taught. And it's the one that made the biggest difference for me. Now, before we dive in, let me be real with you. I am not same 20 years of email marketing veteran. I am 22 years old and running my digital marketing agency from Dinasur, Bangladesh, while finishing my economics degree. But here's what I do to have data. Lots of it. See, back in 2021, when I first started learning digital marketing, I failed at pretty much everything. CPA marketing failed. Facebook ads burned through money. I even launched this wild project called Whirlwind CPA in 2023, put months into it, and it's completely flopped. But every single one of those failures taught me something valuable. And one thing I learned early in that most people teaching email marketing is sharing theory, not result. So when I finally started focusing on email ads and conversion channel in 2024, I apologized it in the same way I used to diagnose broken electronics as a kid, or how I learned to troubleshoot engine when I worked as a mechanic back in 2018. Systematically test everything, measure what actually works, throw out what does not, and that's exactly what I did with email. Test everything, keep only what moved the needle. Those 7 hacks, they are not theory, they are what's actually working in 2026. Now here's the thing about email marketing. Everyone focus on open rates, get a 40% open rate, write killer subject line, cool. But open rates don't pay the bills. Conversion do. And what I discovered is that most emails fail not because people don't open them, but because of what happened in those critical first 3 seconds after someone opened your email. That's where most of those hacks come in. Alright, let's get into it. Hack number 1. Use empty subject line. Here's what I mean. Most email subject lines are trying to way too hard to be covered it or salesy. Limited time, 50% off, you win, relieve the strategy, and people are excited by it. Those subject lines trigger instead of spectrum in 2026. So here's what I tested: boring, almost plain text subject lines and sound like they are from a clueless. Not a marketer. Instead of how to 10x your conversion, I tested quick question about your campaign instead of those secret to email success. I used notice something in your funnel. The result? My average open rate jumped to 18% to 34%. But more importantly, and this is the key, my email to click rates doubled because people are not immediately defensive when they open the email. The psychology here is simple. In the say of high, bring, climb, and conversion is the pattern interrupt. Now, I know what you are thinking, but because it, wouldn't this feel distracting? Only if your email does not deliver value, if you are actually helping people and subject line matches your message. It's not distractive, it's just start positioning. Hack number 2. The first line limit test. The all simple but brutal. Here's the test. If your first line could apply to any product or any industry, delete it the start over how many emails start with something like, I went to reach out because I have something special for you. Or are you struggling with get results? Generic, meaningless, instant delete. Here's what I do instant. I lead with a high frequency obsessive or data point. For example, if you are on my best performing emails started with, I notice your checkout page loads in 4.2 seconds. That's costing you about 35% of potential conversion. Especially immediately valuable, proves I did my homework. Another one, your last campaign had a 12% CTR but only a 1.8% conversion. Here's why. See the difference? The first line needs to prove you are not sending a mass email. Even you are, it needs to feel personalized and relevant. I started implementing this across all of my campaigns in mid-2025, and my replay rates went from under 5% to cost a while 20%. And here's the thing. This does not take more time, it just takes more thought. You are doing this anyway, just load with it. You know, this reminds for me when I was working as a mechanic back in 2018, people would boring in their motorcycle or generators, and they have described the problem in generic terms. It's not working or it's making a worried sound. And I learned the mechanic who actually fix things that would not, those are who immediately started taking those effort. The were the ones who ask a specific question first, when exactly does this sound start? Is it when the engine cool or hot? Does it change with seats? Email marketing is the same thing. The more specific you are upfront, the more trust you build. And trust is what converts. Alright, let's keep moving. Hack number 3, the inverted CTA is more completely change how I think about calls to action. Most emails end with a big button, buy now or get started today, and sure, that works for people who are already ready to buy. But what about anyone else? The 90% who are not ready yet. And here's what I suggested instead of pushing the sales of the end. I offer a micro commitment first. For example, instead of buy my course for $297, I did say I put together a 3-minute breakdown of the exact framework I use. Would me send it over? Thus reply yes sounds small, right? But here's what happened. My reply rate went up 340%, and on someone replies yes, you are significantly invested. The conversion on second email where I actually made the offer was 8x higher than my original one email approach. This works because they are building a conversion, not broadcasting a pitch. And the beautiful part, the people who don't reply to the first email probably are not going to buy anyway. So you are not losing conversion, you are just filtering more efficiently. I stumbled on this by accident in late 2024 when I was promoting a consulting package. So send a 2-step email instead of a one-step please, because I ran out a time of where the full thing. Ended up with being my best campaigns for the year. Hack number 4. Weaponize your review text. Most people completely ignore the review text, that little snippet that shows up next to your line in someone's inbox. Huge mistake. Here's what I do. I use the preview text to create a mini container that complements that subject line about your campaign performance. Preview text stop those issues are killing conversion. Fixing number 2. Alone sound get your 30% more sales. See how they work together. The subject line gets the open and preview text promise specific value and creates curiosity about what issues number 2 actually is. I tested this across 15 different campaigns in the first quarter of 2026, and I increased my open rates by another 12 to 15% on the top of the anti-subject line strategy. It's a small tweak, but small tweak compounded. Hack number 5, and this is the controversial on make your email longer. Not shorter, I know, everyone says keep email short, people don't read anymore, but here's what the data actually showed me. Longer emails when you are genuinely valuable convert better to highest ticket offers. Let me explain. For low tickets impulse purchase, your short emails work great. And here's the thing, here's the please click here. But if you are selling something that costs more than $100 or require any level of trust, short email don't build anything really. I test this with a $497 consulting package. Short email 150 words, 1.2% conversion. Long email 800 words with case study result and objection handling 11.3% conversion. Same offer, same audience, the difference? The longer email but build a case. It addressed objection, it proved I know what I was talking about. Here's the key throw. Longer does not mean floppy. Every sentence needs to earn its praise. Think of it like this. Will you buy a $500 product based on 3-sentence piece? So why would your audience? Now, this goes against what a lot of experts say, but I am telling you what actually works based on real campaigns, not what sounds good in marketing courses. Hack number 6, seek response expansion outfront. This is stable on, but if you massively improve on email delivery and engagement, here's the problem. When you send a marketing email and people don't know if they are surprised it really or not. It's a confused Gmail's algorithm. Low engagement signals equal spam folder. So here's what I started doing. I usually tell people what they expect is a broadcast email. I will say this is going to be 1,200 people, so I would not be able to reply to anyone. But I ready to everything. It's this personal email. I'll say hit reply and let me know. I respond to every message within 24 hours. This does 2 things. 1. It messes expressions so people are not anywhere. 2. It actually increases replies on the email where I ask for them because people know I am actually listening. My delivery improved, my engagement went up, and it stopped ending up in a spam folders nearly as often. Small change, big impact. And finally, hack number 7, the post open sequence. Most people only track opens, but I track opens who don't click. Here's why that matters. If someone opens your email but does not click your link, they are instead of but not convinced yet. They are the website lets you have, so I built a simple algorithm. Anyone who opens but does not click gets a follow-up email 48 hours later with a different angle. First email focuses on the transformation, second email focuses on a social proof or addressing a specific objection. This alone increased my overall campaign conversion rates by 40% on average. Because here's the thing, people don't always buy the first time. But if you open your email and they are paying attention, don't just move on, follow up strategically. I learned this the hard way when I launched my World Recipes project back in 2023. I sent an email, got some opens, no clicks, and just give up. Don't follow up, don't project failed for a lot of reasons, but lack of perspective was definitely one of them. Now, I don't make them mistake. If someone shows interest, I keep the conversion going respectfully. Alright, so let's recap really quick. On, use anti-subject lines that break the patterns. 2. Praise the first line delivers, test with strategic valuable openings. 3. Invert your CTA with micro communications. 4. Weaponize your preview text. 5. Make emails longer for high ticket offers. 6. Set clear response expressions. 7. Build a post open sequence for people who don't click. Those are not complicated, but they are work. And look, I am not saying those I am will work exactly the same for anyone. Your audience is different than mine. Your offer is different, but the principle behind these hacks, those are universal. Test them, measure your result, keep what works, throw out what does not. That's how I went from failing at pretty much everything in 2021 to running a marketing agency that actually helps people get real results in 2026. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor, hit the like button so YouTube knows to show this more people. Subscribe if you want more honest, data-driven marketing content. No hype, no BS, just what actually works. And drop a comment, what's your biggest email marketing challenge right now? I did everything and I will do my best to help. Alright, I will see you in the next one.